Welcome to Three
Fuck, fuck, fuck. Mother,
Geeks.
motherfuck, motherfuck, fuck, motherfuck, noise. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Noise. Smoking weed, doing coke, drinking beers. Rolling fatties, smoking blunts. Who smokes the blunts? We smoke the blunts, just rolling blunts and smoking them.
That is a nice little intro to what we'll be discussing on this show today. There's a lot we got to discuss today. We have our friend Mike back. Yay, we missed Mike last week. Check out Mike at youtube.com/Mike McGTV, who has some awesome t-shirts. And if you want to get one of those t-shirts, just look below in the links. It's right there for everybody to enjoy. Max, tell us a little bit about Audible.
Yo, Audible. Check out audible.com. You see, if you're too lazy to actually read a book, if you're too lazy to finger swipe your e-reader, if you can't read at all, try audible.com. Go to audibletrial.com/3geeks. They've got over 180,000 titles to choose from. Jason listened to it. It took him like 4.5 years, but he finally got it done. But if you're just not into the whole like picking up a book and reading it, if you like to have some soothing voice read to you, try audible.com. It's a lot of good stuff. And throw in our free trial there and help us out.
Speaking of Max caused some stir of controversy on our Facebook page. He posted action figure casing with a charred body in the plastic where the action figure would be, and it said Paul Walker's action figure. Max, do you have any comments to the comment that was left on the Facebook page?
All right. To the person who left the comment on our Facebook page, I would say that if it's considered in poor taste to the Three Geeks fan, I apologize for offending you, but I'm not going to apologize for my humor. I did think it was funny. That's why I put it up. So if you don't like it, my bad, whatever. But I thought it was pretty fucking funny. So that's why it went up. Fucking, go fuck yourself.
Anyway, okay, so the other night I'm laying in bed. It's, I don't know, 11:30. I like to surf my phone on Facebook, and I saw this headline that said Brian Cranston cast as Zordon in new Power Rangers movie. I thought it was a joke, so I kept scrolling, and then I saw that the actual Power Rangers feed was putting it out there, and then Brian Cranston himself had put it out there. And I was excited. I think I texted Max.
Yep, you really did.
Because it's cool. I mean, as a fan of Power Rangers as a kid, you hear that they're making a movie, and they got Elizabeth Banks in it. Cool, whatever. But then when you get an actor like Brian Cranston, I'm not saying the movie is going to be awesome, but just having Brian Cranston in there just makes it just a little bit better, I think. I think it's going to be awesome. He's playing Zordon, and if they get Aaron Paul as Alpha 5, I think I will lose my shit. A Zordon bitch. Like, nobody wants to hear that? Can't tell me that. Max, as a fellow member of the Power Rangers Club of Sutter Park in 5th grade, what are your thoughts on this casting news?
No, I'm pretty excited. Brian Cranston did get his start at Power Rangers. He was one of the monsters. So it's good to see his triumphant return. That is a pretty, weighty cast for Zordon for a Power Rangers movie. It definitely adds a bit of legitimacy to it, even if it does remain kind of silly or stupid, or if it's just not very good. I was really surprised that Brian Cranston put his name on it. He doesn't have to do this. But Mike, how are you feeling about Brian Cranston?
Hey, dude, whatever. I'll play Zordon for whatever money they'll throw my way.
Well, yeah, but you're not Brian Cranston.
Yeah, that's true. But at the same time, I mean, it's probably going to be a pretty easy gig. They're going to, have him do, a bunch of ADR, and they're going to, take one, shot of his head and then superimpose that into a tube for the rest of the movie, right? Because he's just a big floating head. Easy money for him. Nice. Good for Brian Cranston. That's fine. And this is a resurgence of very, very serious, very Well, I mean, he's always had a bit of fun to him, anyways, and he, really loves the fandom. So, but it is kind of he adds a certain legitimacy to the project with his presence by just being there in a way. And that's I knew that he did that was his early career stuff, was doing voiceovers for a bunch of anime and a bunch of TV shows, and Power Rangers was one of them. So yeah, it feels like it's cool. He's coming full circle with that. I mentioned in my Facebook post that I just want now one of the Zords. I thought about it. I want one of the Zords to be just a bag of blue sky. I want another Zord to be a box of pizza that just it doesn't even become part of the Zord. It just stays perpetually on the roof. And the other Zord I want to be a giant turtle with a head on it. And it's one thing is it doesn't become part of the Zord either. It just blows up. So bring it on. I'm excited for that. Sure. I mean, I didn't really give a shit about Power Rangers to begin with, but having these actors in the project definitely has me interested. Rondell.
I
There's a
could
trophy.
give, man, I really don't care. I wasn't a fan of Power Rangers to begin with. Later, as I had kids and they began to watch it, tried to get into it. Power Rangers the best. Chill out. So, got peanut gallery in the background. So that's one of the kids who apparently loves Power Rangers and is probably excited for the movie. I won't be taking them. So with that said, like I said, I mean, having Brian Cranston is like, okay, I need something else though to pique my interest enough to bother to take them to go see it, but no, doesn't move the needle for me.
Zordon is the one who knocks.
How? How does he knock?
I don't know, but he'll find a way. He bangs his head against that glass container that he's... Dan, as somebody who's not a Power Rangers fan, or really didn't have much, didn't really watch it at all as a kid growing up, but you hear Brian Cranston being cast. What are your thoughts?
Until Mike said that he was the giant head that apparently gives them orders, I didn't even know who the character was. So I guess that's cool. I mean, it is easy money, as has been said, but Brian Cranston, I guess, tries to add something to whatever he plays, so maybe it makes it better. Maybe it'll be like Godzilla, where you're just like, why is this guy on the screen, and why am I not watching the giant monster? So, sure, sounds great.
Yeah, I mean, Brian Cranston's been involved with Saban for a long time. I was doing some research, and I guess Billy, the original Blue Ranger, his last name was Cranston after Brian Cranston. And, like, Jason David Frank is just so excited now that Brian Cranston is known to be a part of Power Rangers. He can show up to the Power Ranger conventions. They're going to get more people to show up. Jason David Frank's like, yeah, I can start charging more. But I don't know. We'll find out what happens. I am optimistically curious. So Indiana Jones 5 got a mild setback this week. Everybody was super excited to hear that Steven Spielberg and Harrison Ford were coming back with no mention of George Lucas. Well, Spielberg has mentioned George Lucas and said that he will be creatively involved in Indiana Jones 5. I guess we can see more CG monkeys, more Shia LaBeouf, more aliens. Max, as somebody who only acknowledges that there are 3 Indiana Jones films, how do you feel about there being a 5th one?
A 4th one?
Sure.
Oh, okay. No, I was pretty excited when I heard that they were making the 4th one, and yeah, like it does kind of disappoint me a little bit to hear that George Lucas is involved. But on the other hand, I mean, like the guy did create Star Wars. I mean, he was on the ground floor for Indiana Jones, so like, you might still have some of that magic in him, and like, now he doesn't have any of the business side of things to worry about. Maybe he's back in that creative space. Maybe he's got some gold in there. I don't want to like, now that he's unable to ruin my Star Wars anymore, I want to give him the benefit of the doubt. Because Indiana Jones, I don't care about half as much. But maybe he's got something good in there.
Yeah. Dan?
Dan, how do you feel?
I mean, I give a shit about the Yeah, the Indiana Jones movies that I can't pronounce.
Well, fair
Uh,
enough, dude. I'm just saying, not for me. The
I
Star Wars
mean,
is everything.
but here's the thing. I mean, do you think, and this is turning into a philosophical quandary, and I apologize for that, everybody, but do you think when creators get older, they just kind of lose what they had when they were young, like Lucas and like Stephen King, because his whole thing of like the prequel movies, I mean, that was him being artistic, and that was him missing the mark for almost everybody of the fan base. So,
Well, I mean,
I don't know.
I feel like it's it's just so depending on your experience. Like I feel like Stephen King got stale because he never stopped working ever. Like he never had any experiences away from writing stuff down to make the writing stuff down more interesting. So now that George Lucas has had he's kind of been kicked out of Star Wars. He's been kicked out of all these things. He's got a little he's got a little angst built up. Maybe he's got something maybe that fire's in his gut again. Like it doesn't have to be over.
I don't know. I mean, I just really want it to be good. I don't want it to go out with stupid crystal aliens and CGI monkeys. I don't know.
I feel like they have to have heard why everyone hated this supposed fan film that George Lucas made that everyone's calling Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. I heard there was like some
Spielberg directed that, so.
That fan film? Oh, okay. Well, I mean, I guess these buddies got together with their iPhones or something, and they shot some Shia LaBeouf scenes or something. It was really dumb. I heard. I didn't even bother watching it, but yeah. So this fourth Indiana Jones movie that they're making is going to be really really cool. I mean, it could be like maybe he won't ruin.
I hope so. Mike?
To answer your question really quick about what happens with directors, I have a feeling, especially with directors, it's that for a lot of them, perhaps it's like there's a formula that when they start out, people like really gravitate towards. It catches like lightning in a bottle, and they're just like, okay, let's see. I've got my style, I've got my appeal here that people will know my movie. They'll come see a Sam Raimi movie based on what I do as Sam Raimi as a director. People will come and see a Spielberg movie based on all those Spielbergian qualities I throw into it. And I don't really know if it's really the fault of them or the fact that just audiences change. Like, we're the ones who have changed, honestly. They kind of stayed the same. Spielberg really has kind of settled into his stylistic formula for movie making for a while now, and he does do innovative things here and there, or he does have like a really compelling casting choice here or there, definitely, but honestly nothing has really stuck out to me from him since the stuff of like Jurassic Park or since Schindler's List.
Saving Private Ryan.
Yeah, I mean, I like Saving Private, and it's not to say that they're bad. It's just nothing really captures my imagination quite like, or captures my emotions quite like those films did. And I wholeheartedly acknowledge it, just because I grew up and stuff like that. Just I found other preferences or something else kind of drew my attention more than a Spielberg movie. But also to kind of say that kind of happened with George Lucas, and definitely the prequels were kind of the start of that for me. I'm kind of like, oh. Because I was on board for some of his other stuff. Like, yeah, the other Indiana Jones movies before Crystal Skull, I really enjoy. Willow, I enjoy on certain points. Other things that he had kind of just more story involvement with, I thought were pretty good. But then when prequels came around, I was very much like, okay, this is different. But I just didn't vibe to it. But who knows? Maybe they'll hit it again. They're for the most part, they do good work together when these two come together and meet up. And maybe, having time away from Star Wars has refreshed Lucas a little bit with regards to, you know what, I want to tell a very interesting story this time around instead of just space aliens. Like, let's not worry about the special effects, but that's my Spielberg or my Lucas impression. So who knows? Maybe this is a completely like different, approach he'll go with it. But who knows? They need to actually probably write down something first. Rondell.
Well, first and foremost, I want to say thank you for the Willow reference. Now I want to watch it again. That was
Okay.
a good movie. I think I saw that 2 or 3 times in the theater. Shut up, Max.
No, I'm not about to hate. I'm not even about to hate. I'm just gonna ask: is Willow one of those movies that like lost it? You know, like you watch it again and it's like. I was thinking about watching it recently.
I don't
but
know. I
was
haven't
afraid
seen it
to.
in 20 years, so.
I don't think so, actually. I mean, it still holds up. Maybe the Ebersisk monster looks pretty damn bad now, but
All right, cool. Yeah, I was
you
thinking
know.
about watching it recently, and I was like, oh, what if it's terrible now?
Dude, Val Kilmer turns into a pig, and you have Kevin Pollak running around with a mouse skull on his head. It's great.
Yeah,
Yo.
see? There you go.
What we need to do is get Rondell and Max in a room together to watch it for the first time in 20 years, and then record some kind of commentary or reaction video. That could be fun.
Yeah.
All right, Rondell. Sorry. Continue. You got us all on a tangent.
We could call it smoking meat.
Smoking meat.
All right, before I get off on another tangent. I mean, it's that deep. But as far as the indie movie, I'm like, I could care less who's involved. I may watch it, I may not. I'm like Mike said, I'm kind of over them at this point in my life, but you know, I guess I'll wait for trailers and things to see how interesting it looks.
What would be nice is if George Lucas took the negative that he heard from Episode 7, you know, like, oh, it's a good thing George Lucas wasn't involved in this. This movie would have sucked. If he took that anger and used it as some kind of fuel to, you know, ignite the fire that he once had and just put everything he could into Indiana Jones to actually make it good and make it more collaborative with Steven Spielberg instead of, you know, throw more monkeys in here and throw some more aliens in there, I think that would be awesome. If we could get Lucas to do something like that, but we'll see. If you're watching us live, please tweet at us at 3 Geeks Podcast. Let us know what you think. This podcast will be done before Game of Thrones, so stick with us till the end because we will not let you miss the show. We have a hard out at 8:45. Moving on to the Ghostbusters theme happened, and we're gonna discuss it. Missy Elliott and Fall Out Boy have just recorded a song. I think it sounds like shit. Maybe it's because I'm getting old. I'm a fan of Missy Elliott for the most part. I do like her. I don't know much about Fall Out Boy. So when I heard this, I was curious, and maybe I'm getting old. I don't understand music today. I don't get it. It sounded horrible. I don't understand why they couldn't just use the original. Like, this movie has so much bad press going for it. You know, people don't like the trailers. People don't like this. People don't like that. And then you throw out a song that sucks. I have not met somebody who liked the song, like, loved it. I mean, I've heard some people like it, but whatever. Think it's okay. Rondell, what are your thoughts? Does this make you happy?
In the words of Charles Barkley, this was just terrible. Terrible.
Terrible.
I thought it was god awful. Again, I'm not big on Fall Out Boy. I'm sure there's a song that they've had out that I've listened to and may have even enjoyed. Although I think there's a song out that everybody was playing that I could have swore, if you didn't tell me otherwise, that it was Adam Levine and not Fall Out Boy. But who cares? But yeah, the song was terrible. I mean, I think. I'll throw to you, Mike. I think you even made a comment about the bad guitar riff. I don't know. They just didn't come through.
I'll piggyback off that, I guess, and say, like, yeah, I did mention, like, the one interesting thing, or the one thing I could have found interesting about this song was the fact that I heard in the background a little bit the guitar player for Fall Out Boy, who I'll admit, technically as a guitar player, he's good. He's a really good guitar player. But he was doing that, like he was doing that on guitar, but it was covered up by whatever, I can't remember his first name, but his last name's Stump. Whatever the lead singer's name is, he's like going, I'm not afraid, I'm not afraid, I'm not afraid, I'm not afraid. Like, it completely just took me out of it. Like, I was annoyed by this song from the outset of it because just the beginning of it with that industrial sound really just got on my nerves. It irritated me. I guess it's mostly just because this is the most blatant example of someone wanting to really edge up a song from your past in a way. Like, okay, oh, you like this back in the 80s when it was like kind of cheesy and fun? We're going to give it some grit here. We're going to have Fall Out Boy, who is the epitome of grit. And we're going to have Missy Elliott, because why not? Like, she's really kind of wasted on this track, which sucks because I actually like Missy Elliott quite a bit. But, yeah, it's just the most blatant attempt. Like, there have been... I know some people out there are saying, like, well, you know, Ghostbusters originally ripped off Huey Lewis and the News, so whatever. Still, it's able to stand on its own as a theme song or just as a song in general. And the fact that all you can think about when you hear this song, even like if you didn't even grow up with the original song, but you've heard it before, you're like, wow, this is kind of annoying. And again, the only part of it I really was kind of interested in is covered up by that dude wailing. Like, I guess he's a ghost, maybe, saying he's not afraid.
No, he's not afraid of the ghosts.
He's not afraid of himself, because, I don't know, he's a ghost. Max.
Maybe he's not afraid of the Ghostbusters.
The song is a Fall Out Boy song. I don't know, like, the only thing I wish they would have just been like, okay, Fall Out Boy, make a song for the Ghostbusters movie. Oh shit. And you don't have to reference the old Ghostbusters movie. Like, maybe lyrically you want to do something, or maybe throw a riff in there from the old song, but like, you know, do your own thing for this movie. Because yeah, like, if they're trying to get the people who would like, you know, for the nostalgia who are watching the show, then you're doing it the wrong way, having Fall Out Boy play, because that's a new age band. You know, that's a band for these youngins. You know, and
it's
right,
the
you know what I'm saying.
It's the summer of current favorite alternative bands remaking all your favorite tunes. Because Suicide Squad is going to have
Okay.
Panic at the Disco doing Bohemian Rhapsody.
Okay, cool.
Max, what are you doing?
Yeah.
I'm
Really loud on your end, Max.
Sorry.
Dan?
He's about to get arrested.
Yeah, I mean, if you wanted to make it really edgy, you'd have, like, you know, Overkill remake it with, like, Busta Rhymes.
Or like
that would be fun.
I thought maybe Disturbed would do a good job. You know,
Disturbed with Busta Rhymes. Boom!
Yeah,
That's a track.
There you
Disturbed
go.
even with Missy Elliott. Disturbed even with Missy Elliott would have been solid. But you know,
I suppose.
I think they should have gone one way or the other, and you know, they tried to play the middle, and I don't think it really worked out for them.
Yeah, I mean, this movie has gotten so much bad press that I'm almost rooting for it at this point. Like,
Right?
it's like the Little Mac in Punch Out, you know? It's like, come on,
Yeah.
Ghostbusters movie, you can still be good.
At this point, I kind of feel like everything we've seen about this movie so far is just so blatantly commercial and thin that we're hoping
Cash
that, like,
grabby.
there's got to be something either funny or endearing in here that I can latch onto. It can't just be all about, like, hey, it's got the Ghostbusters name on it, give us your money.
Or can it?
We want your money. It really can. You just hope it's not.
Yeah, I mean, I actually kind of want it to be good, just because, you know, it's
I mean, why
it's
would
the
you
little
want it to be
train that
bad?
could. I don't know,
Why
because then at least it's still entertaining in its badness, but...
Yeah, I mean, I suppose there's that, but I mean, like, I don't know why anyone wishes for it to fail. Like, I mean, I hope it's good. You know, it's just, you know, all signs are pointing the other way. You know?
Hopefully
I
it's
don't
not.
know.
But speaking of good movies, we are going to continue our Kevin Smith talk with two of Kevin Smith's arguably best films, Dogma and Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back. Point poor Philip. Philip was so excited to be on the cast today to discuss Dogma. So I'm going to throw up his picture right there. Say hi to the people, Philip. Hi, how are you guys? My name's Philip. I love Dogma. It's awesome. Poop monsters rock. I don't do a really good Philip impression. I'm sorry, buddy. I'm sure I'm offending you, but
Golgothan shit beasts, you mean?
that's right. Hey, look, we're going to discuss Dogma, and sure, it's got some religious themes in it. It is a comedy movie. Like, it's okay to discuss. I don't think there's anything super offensive about this movie. It is a lot of fun. Max, what is going on in your world?
Sorry, dude. Sorry.
Apparently, Max has a car that has backup beeping noises.
No, that was just me turning on the car so I could roll down the windows so that the Max that's in the car doesn't die of a heat stroke, okay? I am being a responsible owner of myself.
Anyway, Mike, your thoughts on Dogma?
I really enjoyed Dogma quite a bit. After Clerks and I believe Chasing Amy, I saw this and was really kind of impressed how it could still be funny and take like this weird, trippy fantasy element to it, but at the same time have a lot of really kind of interesting discussions and philosophizing a bit in its storyline. And all the characters really I gravitate towards, like even kind of one-note characters like Cardinal Glick, who's only there just to be kind of this shallow commercial version of the Catholic Church. But I still like him just because George Carlin brings a lot of pizzazz to essentially a 2 or 3 scene movie, or a role, I mean. Like, I love the fact that Alan Rickman, not only like did he this obviously wasn't a paycheck movie for him. I mean, I'm sure he got paid very well, but the fact that you hear stories like he really loved the script, and the stories about Kevin Smith saying to Jason Mewes, like, you better train up well because you're dealing with an actual actor in this movie this time. This isn't just us and our friends in Affleck farting around for a couple of weeks. Like, this is like a legit British actor, someone of some stature. So learn your stuff. And the fact that Jason Mewes memorized the whole script in preparation. So he was completely prepared, and just to hear about all this fun stuff, and also the pure outrage that came about because of this movie from like diehard Catholics over really nothing, and the fact that this movie is sort of a love letter to spirituality and religion in general. It's not really saying anything about demeaning someone for their faith or whatever, but it does bring up interesting questions. It does bring up interesting ideas. And my favorite quote from the movie is from Chris Rock's 13th Apostle saying, I just think it's better to have ideas instead of beliefs. And he goes into this whole thing about why. And I don't know, Dogma, I feel, definitely has the most heart out of the Kevin Smith movies, I feel. It was something very different from what he'd been doing, even with something like Chasing Amy, where he was trying for maybe something a little bit more dramatic. But this one felt the most earnest with regards to its subject. So, Dan.
Yeah, I really like Dogma. I like the fact that everybody, all the actors are on their A game, even the bit actors. And even when they have the Golgothan shit monster, demon, yeah. I mean, it's still a movie that's primarily about different cosmologies smashing together. And in that, even though it's a comedy, I mean, it works. And it works well with these guys that just sit around and smoke weed all the time, which I think is great. Yeah, this has pretty much the best writing Kevin Smith has done, I think. That's all I really got.
Yeah, I don't really disagree with you. Chris Rock, too, in this movie and in Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back is some of the best stuff I've ever seen him do in front of the camera on a film. He is really good in this movie. It's the line. I mean, I'm not saying he's like the world's greatest thespian. It's just, his lines, his delivery, his comedy. It's just he is on point through this whole film, and it's a shame that he goes from Dogma to a movie like Down to Earth and Head of State and all these other films that never really capitalized on who Chris Rock was. And in Dogma, you really get the Chris Rock from the Bring the Pain comedy special. In Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back, you get the Chris Rock from the Bring the Pain comedy special. Like Kevin Smith used, like Dan said, Kevin Smith used all of these actors to their strengths. Instead of showcasing their weaknesses, he actually played to all their strengths. And I think it works and shows really well in this movie. Very well. And the original casting for Bethany was Joey Lauren Adams, which I was watching this week, and it would have been such a different movie had she been the star. Not that I don't like her, because we all know I like Chasing Amy, but Ben Affleck, Matt Damon were really strong in this film. But yeah, what's that?
To piggyback on that a little bit, I mean, with Chris Rock and Alan Rickman, I mean, they both elevate the rest of the cast. And it's a shame that, Chris Rock didn't get anything better after that.
Dude, he's fine.
That was partly of his talent. Oh, yeah, I know,
Top
but freaking
5.
Down to Earth and the President one, I don't know, man.
Yeah, he did finally get to some good film work. Mike's right. Top 5 is a fantastic film, but it just took so long. Eventually,
but
Chris Rock.
At that time, he was still seen as the guy that just wanted one rib, Yeah.
Pookie!
Max?
Is that me?
Yeah.
Yes.
We can hear you.
My bad. Sorry. The Dogma is one of the most important movies of my life. It's kind of the movie that let me know it was okay not to believe in God. So this movie will always hold a special place in my life, just because spiritually I did come to a big realization, and this is part of the thing that let me know that's all it's all one thing, and yet it's not what anybody actually, none of the spiritual stuff is what anyone actually thinks it is. So it's okay to not believe it. The movie is good. It is definitely some of Kevin Smith's best work. Chris Rock as Rufus, the 13th Apostle. I mean, come on, that's good shit. Then you have Selma Hayek is in this movie. Alan Rickman. You just have great talent, and he just sprinkles it all throughout the movie. And then you have his regular crew of guys who aren't really bad guys. So Jay and Silent Bob works because again, he put everyone to their strengths. Jason Mewes can act like Jay, that they're the same guy, so he just does what he does, and they roll with that. So it's it's a very good mixture of everyone. You guys are right when you're saying it was Chris Rock when he had his edge, when he was fucking angry, and you get Chris Rock screaming at somebody, and you got another man driving my car? Are you out of your fucking mind?
You better recognize, I don't even drive a Ferrari, I drive a Pinto. Sorry. It's true. It's he caught all the best people, and Alan Rickman's always good. It doesn't matter what point of his career you're talking about. He's always bringing the people around him up. He always holds a great performance, and then whoever is acting with him gets elevated also. So it was great stuff. I love Dogma. That's a great movie. You know what's funny about what you just said, Max, is as somebody who is mildly believe in some stuff, and Max doesn't. It's just funny how you can watch the same movie and walk away with different things. Watching Dogma, and it's a bunch of different people. Like Jay and Silent Bob are obviously not religious characters by any stretch of the imagination. They're hanging out with an apostle. They're hanging out with a lady who works at an abortion clinic, and they're hanging out with the voice of God, and it's just like all of these people who believe different things have come together to do this one thing, and I think that is a valid message too. Like, it doesn't matter what other people believe; it's a personal thing, and we can all just be together. It's fine. It's okay to have a difference of opinion. So I just thought that was interesting that we kind of walked away with similar things but different outcomes. That's cool. Rondell, have you seen Dogma?
I actually have not. I remember it coming out, and I remember Chris Rock being in it, but no, I don't recall anything from the movie, so chances are I probably did not see it.
Oh, yeah. Now, we'll get into Max's favorite. Max used to watch this movie, like, I don't know, man. Was it what, like, just end and then you'd repeat it, and then it would end and then you'd repeat it? Because I remember the
No.
soundtrack being in your car for, like, months on end.
Oh, dude, no, the soundtrack. I watching this movie made me want to get it back again. How many people want to kick some ass? I do. Oh man, like I am about to download it on iTunes.
Dude, and that Run DMC song was the greatest intro to a rap song ever.
Unconceivable, unbelievable. Yeah, no, that's great. Yeah, the soundtrack is awesome for this fucking movie. It's a bunch of fun. This is, I think, Kevin Smith's also best work in that this is the first time I think he really didn't give a fuck what people had to say. He's like, I'm just going to make this fucking stupid movie. You can eat a dick if you don't like it. Like, it's just, or not that, but he's like, it's dick and fart jokes. I know it's, base humor, but that's fine. We're having a good time. Like, I love all of Jay's monologues. I did the fuck rap at the beginning. I am the master of the clit. Remember this fucking face. Whenever you see clit, you see this fucking face. No one rocks a clit like me. Not this little fuck. None of you little fucks out there. Okay, so yeah. It's just good shit. It's just great, stupid, funny humor. They like discover what the internet is, for the first time, and it's like that still actually works nowadays. Like you think of somebody who just doesn't know what the internet is, and then you show them people are just fucking spending all day insulting them on the internet. But no, it's a great movie, and I loved it, and yeah, I think it's awesome. It's got Will Ferrell in it. I mean,
I forgot about that too. But yeah, it was the culmination, and we saw it get repeated with the Marvel Universe on a much grander scale. But I mean, it is the culmination of all of his work up till that point. We got the Clerks guys open the movie, and then we get to see Brody again, and then we see Holden McNeil, kind of burnt out in his place. We get to see Banky again. We find out who Banky ended up with after the events of Chasing Amy. Find out, I love the movie. And when I first saw this movie in the theaters, I absolutely hated it because I did not get it. Because there's so many inside jokes that you have to see Clerks, Mallrats, and Chasing Amy at least once to appreciate a lot of the jokes that they're throwing out at you. And I think that that's one of the brilliance of this film is that it's able to pull from all of those works and make a film that's so enjoyable. Dan?
Jason.
Max?
Jason, I'm gonna go ahead and head out. It's almost 8:45. I'm gonna do the Game of Thrones thing, so I gotta try to set up. And I got some rain to run through, so I'm gonna bounce out. But everyone, awesome, thank you, and I'll catch you guys later.
All right, man. 10-ish. Watch Max, my wife, Dan, and other 3 Geeks podcasters on a Game of Thrones wrap-up show for the season and the episode. But, Dan, your thoughts on Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back?
Yeah, real quick. I mean, it's basically this is the counterpoint to Dogma. I mean, basically it's, hey, I've got all my characters together. We're going to make a bunch of dick jokes. And it plays off remarkably well. I mean, yeah, there are in-jokes and everything else, but basically it's a relatively ludicrous plot. And yeah, it's Smith just saying, screw it, I'm going to make this movie, and it's going to have all the characters that really make sense to be in it, and if you don't get it, you haven't watched my other stuff, and I really don't care. And
Yep.
it works well. I mean, hey.
Hey, Mike, would you like a chocolate-covered pretzel?
Yeah. With this one, yeah, I wholeheartedly acknowledge it's dumb, it's stupid, but it's fully aware that that's what it is. And he's actually doing, it's a very meta movie in a way because the whole plot centers around Jay and Silent Bob trying to stop a bad Jay and Silent Bob movie from being made because of the fact it's like, yeah, how much material can you milk out of basically what they call second-rate Bill and Ted or Cheech and Chong and so forth. And he's fully aware of it. Kevin Smith is fully aware that, like, yeah, these have always been satellite characters. Now that they have their own movie, is it going to be primarily dick and fart jokes and getting high? Yeah, of course. And it's going to be dumb and stupid, and I'm fully aware of that. So I might as well just make a commentary on that myself. And at this point, at that time, I think he said it was going to be his last View Askew movie, and that was before he came back with Clerks 2 and all the other stuff he's got planned. So why not go for broke? Why not have all those callbacks in there? Why not get as many of his Hollywood connections in there? You know, we got Matt Damon and Ben Affleck to come back. And Matt Damon in a smaller capacity as himself. Ben Affleck as two characters. He got people from E! Entertainment to show up in it. He got the Pie Fucker and the Dawson to show up in it. Shannon Elizabeth as a love interest. It's like, this movie is a perfect time capsule of the early 2000s, late 90s. Because everything people were eating up in the late 90s and early 2000s is perfectly encapsulated in this. Dawson's Creek, American Pie people, Morris Day in the Time, I guess, for some reason, because they like Purple Rain. But you know what? It's fun. It's got really funny little moments in it here and there that I still enjoy. Definitely some lines that I still use to this day in just everyday geek conversation. Like, of course, Affleck is the bomb in Phantoms.
Word, bitch, Phantoms like a motherfucker.
Yep. Or you're talking about fictional characters. Fictional characters. And who could forget, and when it's done, say, oh, what a lovely tea party. It's kind of great like that. And the fact that it proves he was just having fun. It's stupid fun. It's lowbrow fun. But it's fun at least, and everyone looks like they're at least having fun in it. So why not?
Rondell, have you seen Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back?
Nope, another one to add to the list.
Nice. There's a scene Chris Rock is talking to, I can't remember who he's talking to, but he's talking about how they wanted him to direct the Muppets originally, and he was going to call it NWP. Yeah, I'm not going to get into it, but if you know what NWA stands for, you can just imagine what NWP stands for. It's funny because there's standing behind it, sniffing, he's like, crack me for it. Great.
I love it. I love it when he's verbally abusing Jamie Kennedy. He's like, you went to film school, didn't you? Does your daddy know you serve a black man his coffee? It would kill him, wouldn't it?
You put boogers in there, didn't you? Taste the booger flavor.
Taste the booger flavor. I know it's in there.
Dude, if you want to see Chris Rock, like, his old stand-up greatness, watch his scenes in Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back and his scenes in Dogma, because it is good stuff. But I promised a hard out at 8:45, and I am going to give it to everybody. So check out Mike at youtube.com/Mike McGTV. You can check out Dan, Liz, Max, and a whole bunch of other people tonight recapping Game of Thrones. That should be a lot of fun. Next week, Rondell, Dan, Max, Philip, I should all be in the same room doing this podcast, so that should be fun. Rondell's going to be bringing the trophy. The trophy's going to be back for a special appearance, giving its commentary on everything happening. Next week, we will continue our Kevin Smith retrospective with Jersey Girl and Clerks 2, which should be a lot of fun because we went from balls to the wall dick and fart jokes to Kevin Smith's PG-13 film, so this should be a lot of fun.
But it's got Sweeney Todd in it, so
And it's got Carlin in a much more prominent role, and Carlin does have some good one-liners. And spoiler alert, Will Smith is also in Jersey Girl. Bet you didn't know that. Anyway, tune in next week. Thank you for watching. Have a great night.